Hello, our beautiful and handsome viewers. Welcome to yet another edition of Unyielding Voices from Solidarity Uganda. We hope that you've enjoyed the previous 6 episodes that we've recorded so far and that you will also like this one. Today, I'm sitting with a gentleman known as Nova
Gideon
Kwikiriza. Mr. Kwikiriza, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Is this the first time you're on a podcast?
No, but the first time at Unyielding Voices.
At Unyielding Voices.
Yes.
So we've had quite a number of episodes, as our viewers and listeners will see, wherever they're getting this, whether it's on the podcast app, the Apple Podcast, or YouTube. We've had a number of them. But today I'm hosting Gideon as both the President of Ugandans on X being formerly Twitter.
Yes.
And then as an activist. So Gideon is an activist who participated in the March to Parliament protests last year, which significantly made a year last month, the month of July. So that's for the reason that I have Gideon with me. So Gideon, you are welcome. Do you want to say anything to the viewers as we start?
Are we in a new month already?
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
okay.
Sorry. First of all, thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure sharing such, experiences that are held so dearly to our country and the governance and all that. It's always a pleasure sharing something about that.
Okay, so let's get right into it. What drove you? When they were arresting these marchers, people were marching to Parliament. There was that video of you in the police van, chanting slogans and all this while getting pulled back by some police officers. I think they even probably bruised your neck in the course of it. What drove you to participate in that protest at that time?
It was the issue. What was the issue at hand? It was corruption, and corruption has been here, especially for the years I've lived, really, and for the years I've started to understand and follow the governance of this country. Corruption has been here, but it gets to a point where you get individuals, I would say, who want to throw it at your face. And so specifically, we are talking about the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among. I'm sorry, I don't give them the title of Right Honourable because I don't think they deserve it.
Okay.
But she's our Speaker. She's the Speaker of Parliament. So she had gotten to a point where every day you had to see something that says, I stole the money, I am spending it this way, it's out of the budget, it's out of what I can possibly earn, but what are you going to do about it?
You do nothing about it.
You do nothing about it. You see people, young people on social media had started getting to a point of showing how much her dresses are. The other day she will get close to 1 billion car, and it's a gift to the husband. Another day she's launching a multi-billion, home and something like that. We said, yeah, we know there's been corruption, but it's never getting to a point where now you're becoming a Marie Antoinette of our times, who, and trust me, I know we get to a time of discussing the impact. That trend really changed. Today, Among is a different person. I'm not saying she stopped stealing. She didn't. But at least in her mind, at the back of her mind, she says,
people are watching me.
Yes, people are watching me. So the reason I decided to participate in the March to Parliament was because I was very convinced. Self-conviction told me that this is a genuine cause. As a young person, as a patriot, as a person who fears for the future of this country, that you want to live for your children and your grandchildren, you need to participate. You need to be one of those voices to speak against corruption.
So I've heard you say, as a patriot, as a young person, as a citizen of Uganda, that's what you definitely have to speak up. Did any of this have to do with the fact that you also, much of the activism before that was on social media, on Twitter? Did it have to do with the fact that you, the president of Twitter, in Uganda?
No, not really.
You have to do that.
Well, I would love to identify with activism. See, every leader has, their agendas. Activism, for me, that's why I even created a desk, and a position. I put someone in as head of advocacy recently. That's Charles. I would love to identify with activism in my leadership. My leadership ends next year in April. Probably the next president of UX may have a different agenda and a different. But mine, I would love. But specifically for March to Parliament, it was not really about being president of Ugandan on X. It was about being Ugandan, a young Ugandan who wants to contribute to the shaping of the future of this country.
Okay, now let me first hold you there as the president of Ugandans on Twitter. A lot of activism happens on Twitter in Uganda. Do you see that too?
Yeah, I do. A lot of it.
Why do you think that is so? I think there's more activism on Twitter than on any other social media platform in Uganda. Have you ever figured out why that could be the cause?
X is dominated by a specific group of people.
Okay.
One is, I would say, educated people. Two, exposed, informed, not entirely informed, but at least they are aware of what is happening in the country.
Okay.
They know what is really happening, and they know they know the ideal world, yeah, but they also live the realities of this country.
Okay.
So they can compare. This is how this is supposed to be, but unfortunately, this is how it is. So that is why I feel like X is that one app that is standing out in as far as activism is concerned.
Okay.
But also the fact that it's been used in other countries as well.
Yeah.
X did not start from Uganda. So other countries, for example, I may not go far, but here in Kenya, it's used more than we use it here. So I think it's a combination of all this that I just talked about.
Yeah.
The fact that even other countries use it,
Yeah.
and we see how they use it. We also want to use it that way.
So you have had an experience of both. You've used social media for activism, but you've also been on the street. You've been arrested.
Yes.
There's always that discussion between, well, who is a real activist? You know that conversation where guys say that why you on X, so you're not a real activist. Real activists should be on the streets. Yeah. Do you think they have a point in saying that?
I think that no one should define activism. You don't define activism, and you are not the benchmark. Let people contribute what they can, because not everyone is going to get to the streets. Not everyone is posting on X. Others are on X, but they are not saying anything. But they are also contributing in one way or the other. So we, in all the struggles, and we have strategists. Yeah, you will never see their faces anywhere. It's just like here. The people who are watching us may think that we've done the greater job in the production of this.
But we haven't.
But there are people on the camera. There's someone who's going to edit these videos, and the graphic designer and everything. These people are probably doing much more work.
That we are.
Ours is just to sit here for a few minutes and leave, But because we are in the cameras, in front of the cameras, the person who is watching may say, Nova and Toko are the best and everything. But for me, who knows what it takes to have this work out there, I know that the production team is far, far better than what we are doing.
They are more important.
They are putting more. They are more important or putting more work. So it's not right for me, who went to the street, to start thinking that I am better than someone who even initiated the conversation of marching. I didn't. It wasn't my idea. I saw it trend on X,
Then you joined it.
and I realized it was a worthwhile cause, and I joined. So this person, for one reason or the other, because some of these people are not even in the country,
True.
you know.
Yeah.
So don't expect them to get on the plane and come. That is their role.
Okay.
I feel like what we can do, because ultimately action speaks louder.
Yeah.
In the end, we may need to all stand up and do something and act, but it's not all of a sudden, and it's a gradual process, and it's not when you do it at your convenience that you feel everyone else should do it.
True.
So we need to give people time. We need to talk to them. We need to give them reason to act. Because myself, I went to the streets. I was arrested for probably something like 8 days, and I'm here. I've never gone back to the streets. There are other people who have been going back to the streets.
Yeah.
So should they
Claim
consider me useless because I've not gone back to the streets? We have people like Kizza Besigye who have been in prison. I think he holds the record of being in prison. So should he start judging all of us for not being at his level?
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me now talk about something else still on social media activism. There's been this heightened risk. I could mention some names. You have someone like Edson Tumwine, who was missing for several days. Then we discovered it was because he used TikTok. We had someone like Noah Mitala, who came out of jail only recently, spent about 2 months in jail, and realized that he was targeted because of social media activism. Last year, we did some research as an organization where I work, and we found that as many as 12 people, probably more, because those are the files we had, about 12 of them.
From TikTok,
most of them were TikTokers, were picked, some from as far as Mbale. You have people like Nova Gideon, you have all these guys, and remanded to different prisons across the country. Some of them sentenced as many as 7 years for simply expressing themselves on social media. How do we get, how do we ensure that people use social media? I'm not saying that's your responsibility. I'm not saying it's my responsibility. I'm just saying, like, can we have this conversation? Like, how do we make it safer for people to use social media without suffering such horrendous repercussions that I think they shouldn't to begin with? Do you think there's a need for us to engage the authorities and say, hey, these guys are simply using social media? Or that is far too gone and we have to engage other methods?
I think it's far too gone. Because the regime does not only attack people on social media.
True.
It attacks any voice that emerges to speak against or oppose the status quo. So social media is run by human beings, by individuals. So whether you use social media, whether you use a mainstream media, even if you went face to face to talk to people, they will arrest you.
Yeah.
So we cannot limit a solution to social media. We need a comprehensive solution to freedom of expression. You know,
on and off social media.
On and off social media, because whichever means you use, whether social media or anywhere else, trust me, if you got out here, Godwin, with your profile, you went to say Nakasongola and you got into a meeting with 10 people and you're telling them the problems with this government, within no second they will pick you and they will throw some charges on you and they will arrest you. So we need a holistic solution approach to this problem, which I think ultimately is change of governance and leadership.
Okay.
It's not a problem you're going to solve on social media in any way.
Okay, let's go back to March Parliament now. You are how long did you spend in jail?
8 days.
8 days in jail. You arrested, taken to Luzira for 8 days. Then you out on bail. How did that case end? Did they lose interest in the case? Was it dismissed?
Yeah, it was dismissed.
After how long was it?
After something like a year.
How many times had you gone to court in between?
Around like 8 times.
That's not wasting of your time, eh? Yeah, but you participate in the March Parliament. My question is, do you think that made anything? So, to put it another way, if there was similar situation, with hindsight you have today, if we went back to July of 2024, the same day there is still going to be people participating in March Parliament, would you still participate?
Rephrase the question.
If so, I'm trying to understand if you felt like it meant anything, if there was any serious outcome out of your participation. So what I'm saying basically is that if we went back to June 2024, if we went back by some magic,
Yes,
and people are going to participate in March to Parliament, would you still join them and participate?
This time I would even, because last time I participated as an individual. This time I would even mobilize. I would even mobilize.
So you feel like,
because I appreciate the impact. I appreciate the impact.
Okay.
First of all, if you may allow me to get into what I think we achieved out of the March to Parliament.
Sure.
One is that what I believe is the best strategy for now as Uganda, the solution that we are looking for is into civic education, because we have a largely ignorant, I'm sorry to use that word, ignorant population.
Ignorant is not a bad word. Yeah, just that people bastardize it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ignorant about so many things. You're ignorant about so many things. Yeah.
So we have a population that is dominated by people who are ignorant about the governance of this country.
True.
So such activities open up people's eyes. They question. There are debates even at village level.
Yeah.
Because March to Parliament, I don't think there is any Ugandan, no matter where they come from, no matter how many kilometers it is from here to the village, that didn't hear or question or debate about the March to Parliament.
Sure.
So that debate in itself is an eye-opener to so many people. Why would these young people who don't look to be so needy, maybe, because people think that it's a needy person, someone who is failing to eat or who is starving, who should speak up, why would they march in such numbers? Then that's a debate now, already a conversation. Two, President Museveni and his group claim that they were sponsored. Who sponsored them, and why would they be sponsored? It's a year now, since last year. They have never gone back in such numbers to the streets. What happened to the sponsorship? Wouldn't they want to always get that money if there was money anyway? Then why did they protest? It's corruption. What does corruption mean? You know, there are many people who don't know what corruption means. I was in my village during the recently, and I had a conversation with some of our people. I was telling them MPs were given 100 million to push a bill. They were saying it's okay, MPs are supposed to get money. You know, people don't know that this is, open corruption. They don't know that there is a law prescribes what an MP is supposed to get.
Yes.
The Constitution prescribes the amount of money that an MP is supposed to get, how they are supposed to get
Parliament
it.
rules or procedures.
Yes, all this. And then there's this money that goes through the window because Museveni has interest in one thing or the other. So for me, these were achievements, but also I mentioned it earlier, the fact that a government official X or Y knows that they are being watched. Organizations like Agora helped us get facts, the data, evidence, evidence. Now, I don't know if Among and her team have ever found out how Agora accessed that information. It's been troubling. It's been a burden to them. I know. And I think
know people who are fired at Parliament.
Exactly.
Allegedly for giving information.
Exactly. But right now, she lives to know that I am going to do this, but it may get to the public domain. The public may know, So in one way or the other, it may look insignificant, but there is at least fear in public servants, because if that hadn't happened, trust me right now, maybe Among would be buying a private jet and posting it and, something like that.
Flying it to Uganda.
Yeah. So there's really a lot more that I can even say here. I have seen young people come to my DM and say, President, if there is any other march to Parliament, we want to participate. We also want, it has it has grown, it contributed to the growing of that spirit of, I think some even feel that they betrayed us. They were supposed to be there. They were supposed to be part of it.
And they didn't, and they feel bad about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, now there's something else. After the March Parliament, there was also some backlash on Twitter. There were people who came out and said, "Oh, we're supposed to receive money. We didn't receive money." There are people who came out and said, "Oh, someone hijacked our march," and the people have accused you and others of acting like celebrities, having no claim to fame, only just marching to Parliament. Has that affected you in any way at an individual level?
Not really. First of all, my only reason to march to Parliament was to speak up, like I said, as a concerned citizen, concerned young Ugandan. That was my only reason. I didn't expect, first of all, that's why I had issues with my colleagues who were saying, our money, we want our money after the march to Parliament. What do you mean, your money? Agatha and you and the team mobilized funds to support us.
From the public?
From the public.
Openly?
Yes, openly. And that money was accounted for. I was in prison. I didn't even know money had been collected. So it would be ridiculous of me to get out of prison and start say, that's my money. How? How is it my money? I don't even know why it was collected. It was supposed to facilitate bail and my welfare in prison. It did that. It's not my money. Some people are saying, I have rent areas of 3 months. I mean, what are you talking about?
You are in jail for 8 days.
8 days, and So the second thing is, if you think that anyone would want to get to jail to be famous, please go. You go and protest, and you can also. Yes, you can as well tap into that fame and then enjoy the benefits, if I'm enjoying it anyway, if there are any benefits of enjoying. Prison is hell for anyone who has been in prison, leave alone the police cells where you are for less than 48 hours. Prison is something different. At least you're aware, Toko, that I after prison, even having been there for 8 days, I got sick for close to 2 months.
You needed medical attention.
I needed medical attention. And there are guys who have never recovered after that. There's a colleague of ours called Nelson. He's been seeking medical attention.
Wow.
Ever since.
Wow.
So if you think really that anyone went to prison you go and test it. That's all I can say.
Okay. Now, a lot of what happens on social media is that you have these divides. There's this divide where it's people talking, I don't want to say nonsense, but they're talking really non-issues.
It's okay.
If you look at it from another angle.
Yeah, some people say talk nonsense.
Yeah, if you look at it from another angle. But then sometimes I feel like that other side of social media tends to even be weightier than the one that, for instance, says, can we hold our leaders accountable? What do we do in the next election? Like the civic conversations that happen. Do you think that can ever change? Do you think there are things that we would do, probably as groups of activists, as activists individually, that can change this trajectory and ensure that more and more social media becomes more and more a platform where activism is pushed, and less of the other conversations of, oh, my wig, who took the wig of this one and all that?
Yeah, I think first of all we need to appreciate the trend so far. When you look at, I joined X in 2018.
That's recent. I was there since 2011, January.
Oh.
Okay, but yeah.
But you agree with me that the levels of the quality of conversation then and now is totally different.
Yeah, so what I remember is that Twitter used to be a place so much for politics from the time I joined up to about 2015 or 2014. Like it was, you would go there and it was always the Onyango boys, the who's, like it was like that place. You go to Facebook and there's all this going on, but on Twitter it was thorough. And then somewhere from around either 2015 or 2014, it seemed like all of a sudden that conversation, the curtain wall came down, and then the conversation moved everything else. And yes, I agree with that. Now, even when there is still a lot of the other conversation happening, there is a lot more conversation on the political end. And I will say that when the Onyango Boys in the 20, it was not really activism. It was more of just talking about these things. Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you in that regard.
And then we need to, because back then, the times you're talking about, we also need to look at the numbers that were on X.
Very insignificant.
Very insignificant. So there's a clique of people. X was considered to be for elites, that's a no-go zone. You can't maintain a conversation there. And that was not good. It's not good. Because right now, even the people you see engage in what we would call useless conversations, but they see what you post.
True.
They see what I post. They see what another person posts.
And many times they engage.
Yes. And eventually, when you take time, me now, who is a leader on X, who's been following so many accounts that I know both online and physically, individuals who run these accounts, I have seen a trend change in their interests. They have been posting all this nonsense, but then they realize, because of the conversations that have been steered by the activists and the political players, these people are compelled to participate, and eventually their content changes. So it's a matter of time. Those who are already in activism and speaking about the governance of this country need to package it in a way. We need to package it in a way that's convincing, in a way that's educative, that these other people who are engaged in so many other things, because life does not end with politics.
True.
And I wouldn't say that X or any other social media platform should be limited to discussing politics and all this. Life.
I guess all of us, we also discuss football and other things.
But even if you were discussing about wigs, even if you were discussing about sexuality and whatever, if a conversation emerges about the governance of this country, of your country as a citizen, you should now be able to understand that this is not comedy, this is not really related to wigs and whatever. Let me think about it and contribute to this conversation. Then after that, you can go back to your wig and whatever, because that's life.
And you see evidence of that people. For me personally, I think with all due respect to my friend Mutuzo, I think for me, I see she was really not an activist. And then when the March Parliament comes and she's like, wow, she's an activist 100%. So I'll agree with the point that we need everyone at the end of the day. So I saw so many people March Parliament, and they were never activists. Yeah, they were just angry young people over the issues that happened on social media, and then they get out and they march.
But also to a little disagree with you. Maybe if we contextualize what activism is.
Yeah,
activism is not only seen on X, that if you either march to parliament or if you're not seen on X, then you're not an activist. There are people who are actually doing
100%.
Activism of social media.
100%.
So some
Probably the majority.
Some of us before march to parliament,
we are doing activism.
We were already doing activism at a different level.
But that was just at the social media level. I've seen them change within social media.
Yes. They are really trends. People are changing and getting into. I know so many of them. I don't know if there is no way I could show you the trends of how these people have transitioned from posting, following each other, and now discussing real issues. Yes.
Okay. The other thing is, do you think there's an opportunity in the fact that very senior leaders in this country use social media, especially X, quite a lot? Last time I counted, I did a mental calculation. I found that President Museveni is on the second to Ruto in the region in terms of using social media. He's way ahead of Kagame is way ahead of Samia Suluhu, is way ahead of like almost every, I mean, the Burundian president barely uses X. So what I found is that he posts about 1.5 times a day on average for the period I took under review, which I think was from mid last year up to the end, which shows you that he probably makes, in some days, probably makes as many as 3 posts. Yeah, of course, there are days when he will not post. Whether you talk of other people like the ministers, a lot of the ministers in Uganda, I mean, if Minister even Nanite is always in some kind of disagreement with people and some kind of fight with, and it's not just those, like there's many people. Do you think that offers a unique opportunity that we can engage them there, or that is also water under the bridge? They wouldn't listen.
50-50. We've seen some leaders that we've engaged and they have responded positively and gotten the response into actually action and worked on so many things. So I wouldn't say really, but you use an example of President Museveni. I know for a fact that he has no interest in social media, but he must. I think he was told by his advisors that he should have social media. So he has handlers who post whatever.
So he doesn't post by himself?
He doesn't. He writes
on a piece of paper.
On a piece of paper, and then the
handlers,
I would say PRO team, the entire media team, disseminates the information on different platforms,
including social media.
Yes. A few times.
If I went there and said in a comment that, man, I'm broke, you will never see it. It's the handlers who would see it.
Yeah, it's the handlers.
Okay.
And what I got is that once in a while, you'll say, what are my Bazukulu saying on social media?
Once in a while.
Once in a while. So then they will bring a written report still. He will not. He doesn't have a smartphone, you know that.
I didn't know that.
Okay, he doesn't. He has like a small phone.
So they'll read to him some comments.
Yeah, they'll read to him some comments. And of course, the art around him is that they may not even give him the real comments.
There are comments that they hide from him.
Yes. So they will look for good comments and, and maybe bring out like 1 or 2.
That's interesting because they're the ones who create the bots.
Exactly.
That put the good comments. And they read their own good comments.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah.
So at that level, I don't think it's impacting in any way. I don't think it's productive in any way. But at a lower level, ministers and all these things, I have seen it work. That these ministers, these government officials are on their socials, are following up. You report something and they act towards it. So many examples you must have seen. Police, you report something and they act. They go and rescue people and you've seen in terms of elections, tag electoral commission and they will act. You've seen different ministries. We've reached out to these ministers. So it all goes back to the individuals now, because like I said, it is a human being behind this account.
I agree.
Yes. So the good people who are in government positions will still be good on social media.
And the vice versa is true.
Yes, and the vice versa is true. Yes.
So if you were to rate, who do you think is the best government official on social media off head? The most responsive, the one who has addressed the problem and you've seen, not an institution, we'll talk about them, but an individual.
That's a hard one.
Do you want to first start with who is the worst?
The worst is, the worst I know. The worst is MK.
Okay.
Yes, the worst is MK.
Okay, he blocked me. Yeah,
he did. Okay. He also blocked me.
But then who would say the best?
The best
government official.
Maybe I could mention like 5.
Go ahead.
I don't know who the best is.
But mention the one.
But I've seen Ramadan Gobi respond.
Okay, that one also blocked me. Interestingly, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I've seen him respond to economic questions and all these things. There is a former, can I also include the former?
Government official, former,
Government
past,
official.
current. Okay.
The retired AIGP Hassan Kasinje.
Okay.
He worked with police and he was so responding. There's a gentleman, he doesn't normally use his own, but he did when he worked with URA, Ibrahim Bossa.
He was a spokesperson of URA.
Yes, he's now at UCC.
Ah, okay, I didn't know that.
Yes, he's now at UCC. He's good, so good. I have seen Norbert Mao respond to social media. I know the circumstances under which he operates. He may not be in position to give solutions, but he does. Yeah, I mean, I would need more time to really think
as I was
about
thinking
it.
about, I also remember a time when, was it the Attorney General? When there was this issue around LDC that Agatha led, the activism around LDC.
yes.
I think the Attorney General asked her for some evidence. I don't know how she got the evidence to him, but I think he acted. He acted upon it. So I think that there are instances where these guys really take this thing in good faith.
Yes, they do.
And I think we should encourage a lot of that. Like it's really not, it's not a big thing, eh?
I have had a conversation with Uganda police. Unfortunately, the officer I engaged told me it's beyond them. But I've said, if you can arrest me because of a social media post, then why can't you follow up an issue I have reported on social media?
Yeah.
When you report something, they tell you go to police and report.
But when you
post something,
they
they'll
don't
come and arrest you when actually no one has reported you to police.
That's a good one.
That's really a contradiction.
That's a good one.
If I report a criminality, if I report corruption on X, you saw during the March of Parliament, even after all the evidence that was paraded on social media, the IGG kept saying, we don't pick information from social media. That's sad.
I think even the speaker said that. The speaker said, we don't discuss things on social media in the parliament.
Exactly.
Then I think the next day she was impeaching Zake for saying something on social media.
Exactly. And why in the first place are you on social media? Why do you make official communication on social media if you don't rate it?
Let me tell you this. I produce the Agora discourses, which is the Twitter spaces we have, by the weekly Twitter spaces we have. And my experience with the government of Uganda is that it is really, really outdated. It has an archaic policy and mechanism of communication. So let me tell you, each week we have an issue that is trending, and we're like, can we have a discussion on this particular issue? For instance, they say someone has been abducted. Can we go and talk about that? Now, the Uganda Human Rights Commission has become very responsive. Whenever we ask them, even on short notice, they will have someone available, which I commend them for that. The Parliament of Uganda, interestingly, the whole of last year, they were very responsive. They would send Obore, they would send other people to come and participate. This year it has been a bit hard getting them. So I don't know why they are going down. I would downgrade them by 5 points. But what I've found generally is that if you call like the Ministry of Health and ask the spokesperson of the Ministry of Health, can we have you on the space? They will say you must write to the PS. Yeah. So now you know how bureaucratic that can be.
Yes.
I want to have a discussion. It's Monday. I want to have a discussion on Thursday. But I must write to the PS. Now, somehow, the PS must be in office. 2, the PS must, on top of all the things that she's doing, see what I wrote to her. And the PS must say, okay, you can participate. And I find that to be so ridiculous. Yeah? Like, my own thinking is, the PS of Ministry of Health, for instance, is a doctor. Most of these PSs are more technical people for those ministries. They are not communications people.
Yes.
So if you employ a communications expert, I think it should be up to him to decide and say, yeah, I can participate in this particular conversation. And I can participate in this other one. Then the other thing I wanted to say regarding the police, I think there's also need for centralizing some of these things. Like, if I report a crime on X, don't tell me to go to the police. Let whoever is in the command room of that X, like there should be like a whole desk, the communications desk.
Yes.
They should know which is the closest police post, the closest police station, and say, because if I report a case of a girl being raped right now, I say, oh, there's a girl being raped here, then you say, oh, go to the nearest police. Well, the rapist is going to get away before
yes.
even reach the police station.
If someone is on my door, and they want to enter, and you know, they have a panga or a gun or something, you're telling me to first go to police. How? I'm inside.
Like, you should at that point say, okay, give me brief details. Where do you stay? What is the flat number? What is this? And it should be incumbent on them.
Reach out to the
act immediately.
The local police station, so they can come.
So they can act.
Yes.
And I don't know if they have those systems in place, but I think it would be very, very helpful. But still, I found, for instance, National Water to be very, very responsive. Very, very. They gave me a very ridiculous.
I think National Water. I think NIRA is also trying to respond. What is this other agency that deals with driving permits?
It's called the Uganda Professional something Association.
Yes,
no,
I think.
not association. Uganda Professional Permits. I don't know, but yeah, I know
I think
that
they are also
the one at Railway.
Yes, they are also trying something.
Yeah, and everyone talks about them in a good way.
Yes,
both online and offline. Even if you go to the offices,
yes,
the kind of help they give you.
They are. I
very fast.
think they are now the best performing. Is it a government agency or it's a private entity?
It's government.
It's government.
It's run by government.
They should be the best performing. Should be the best.
That makes me wonder then. You know, there was a time there was this discussion about Ugandans performing ridiculously. And then Andrew Mwenda, was it, who said, yeah, but that is the Ugandan nature. If you pick a newspaper and read it, you'll find errors all over the place. And I kept thinking, but yes, there are also examples of Ugandan businesses, for instance, like CJ, I like talking about CJ, or like that organization, government run, which is very, very efficient. Maybe then it goes down to leadership in those particular.
Yes. It also goes down to leadership, but also the problem is with individuals who come to sanitize wrong. Like, is it okay? I don't know what point Andrew Mwenda was trying to drive. You can't say that's a Ugandan culture. Bad culture is not culture to be proud of. Then I've also seen organizations like URA. I think they have also tried to polish their digital approach. At least I even know individuals there. They are doing extremely well.
So if you have issues with URA, you can engage them online.
Online, and they'll respond. Then
do you think we should do an exhibition on URA? Maybe. So I'm asking that because my experience with most of these government institutions was that they were sort of responsive and they were good until you say, let's do an exhibition. So when we were doing the Uganda health exhibition, Anita Mong, the Speaker of Parliament, of course, on the floor of Parliament said, I have seen all the things that have been raised about the health on social media. I think the Ministry of Health, you need to be serious, look at some of these things and see how to address them.
Until you went to Parliament.
In fact, in my comment, because that was reported in the Daily Monitor, in my comment, I said, you're saying this, but if we start exhibiting Parliament tomorrow, you're going to show that you're going to see that you're going to take a different route. And one of his handlers, I don't know whether it was Bukenya, I don't know whether it was Sabiti, one of her handlers, one of them came and said, no, the Speaker is very transparent. And I was like, okay, no problem. That was a year before the Parliament exhibition. Then we started the Parliament exhibition. Yeah, as predictable as it was, all hell broke loose. All these foreigners, these bum shafters, this and all that. Yeah, so I agree with you.
I think that it would be different for URA. Do you know why I think it would be?
Why?
Specifically, like you pointed earlier, there are some ministries, because of a fake, vague policy that manages the ministry, there are individuals that kind of own the ministry or that agency.
They personalize.
Yes. For example, Ministry of Health, almost everything has to go through the permanent secretary. You know, Parliament it's the Speaker.
100% the Speaker.
But for URA, at least for the time I've been there, they have a whole PRO department
which is
independent. You will never find the Commissioner General, telling them do this, do that. So I feel we need to do that, because they again have, away from the social media response, they have so many wrong things happening. Yes, so many things in real life. I've engaged them on why a basic illustration or example that we can use. You go to Japan, get say a room at 5 million shillings.
Yeah.
You add something like 4-5 million to bring it
Cost
here.
and freight Kampala.
Yes. And then boom, a tax of 15 million.
Yeah, that's
Boston,
true. That's true.
You know?
But is that URA?
Yes.
Is that to blame? I don't think that is URA's problem.
Whose problem is it?
Yeah. So what I understand, I think URA overly milks a few Ugandans. Yeah, that's the problem I have with them. That there are so many Ugandans. Maybe I don't want to, but I could say maybe 60% or 7% of Ugandans probably don't pay any form of direct tax. Now, what I feel is like I have a teen. It's like people who have teens, people who are compliant and all that. I feel like URA overly milks them.
So whose problem is it?
But now I think I think Parliament gives URA, so every year they pass tax laws. It's those tax laws that prescribe which things URA should tax and at what rate. Now, what I feel with URA is that they have targets. They have very, very high targets. Because they have very, very high targets, if they can take advantage of you, they will take it. So
So how many times have you seen URA advise, for example, Parliament or government to do a policy shift on this?
It can't. Yeah, that's their
But
problem.
they are also mandated to do that.
Like what I was going to conclude is that my tax lawyer once told me that if you want to buy a car in Uganda, you get all your receipts of the car, putting it from before and all that. Have your receipts. When the car gets to Uganda, tell URA that I'm going to pay taxes. These are the laws. I'm going to pay taxes subject to this price. Now, most times URA has a different valuation from yours. So if you're supposed to pay let me say like the car is maybe 15 million, you're supposed to pay like maybe 16, 17 million in taxes. URA can say you're going to pay 30 million. You get it? Now, they will say that if you're not keen enough, you can pay it. And for them, it's a credit. That they're hitting their targets. But if you don't have the money and then you engage a lawyer and maybe go to the tax appeal tribunal, most times you will not pay it. But of course, I agree with you to the extent that not many Ugandans know that. Many Ugandans get taken advantage of.
Yes, and that's more like, what would I call it? That's
Extortion.
fraud, extortion, something like that. Secondly, just on that, if I may conclude that specific example, I have a friend who deals who imports cars, trucks, these big trucks, trucks, whatever. But last year, I think around September or October, he ships in cars, yeah, and the URA system, the system is down for a week, but he has to pay what they call damage.
Yeah, and the bond and all
Exactly.
that. Yeah? Warehousing.
So he has the money, he's willing to pay, the system is down. He's bouncing every day he comes to pay, they say the system is still down, but he has to pay.
I don't understand that.
I don't know how it works.
Like back to March Parliament, we're in court, Pfizer, Bill Wall, Timothy, these guys. There are two sides of in court. There are your lawyers, and then there's the state attorney. The state attorney is done defending government. So in this case, the state attorney wants you to go to jail. Your lawyer is saying, well, I want these guys out on bail. We can handle this. They're not going to run away. They're Ugandans, blah, blah, blah. They have evidence. They have their sureties and everything. Now, what shook me in that case, for instance, was that the state attorney says, can I just get some time and take some water? Okay, you can go and take your water. And she didn't come back to court. So the Pfizers, the B-Walls, and the Timothy's lawyers are there. The sureties are there. The supporters are there. Everyone is there. Then the magistrate says, well, it seems the state attorney has gone away, so I'm going to remand you. And I was thinking, why are you punishing me
For the state
for the problems of the other side? Like,
yes.
You should automatically say, because she has run away, I am releasing you unconditionally. It seems she doesn't know what she's doing. It seems she doesn't know her case. Yeah, but I agree with you. Okay, if we talk about the issues around the government of Uganda, we made a podcast that lasts 1 week, like starting Monday, and then we'll be like, oh, they are 5% done about the problems of Uganda after 1 week.
You may need to pack food for like a month.
And changing clothes.
Yes.
You go to the washroom break and come back. Yeah, but thank you, Gideon. So I'm going to give you the concluding remarks. This is an election year, a very, very pivotal election year, 2026. Because people say 2026, but the best way to see it is that we're electing in January 2026. So the election year is...
The process is now.
It's now. People are being nominated and all that. Social media has become an influential part of elections. How do we make it even more consequential? How do we ensure that social media can be used to positively influence the outcome of elections without, for instance, things like it being blocked around election time and all that?
Unfortunately, you see, Godwin, everything ends with government, the intentions. If you look at X influenced so much in the US elections. Yeah, we can agree on that.
100%. The
Yes.
fact that Elon Musk bought it, all that.
But it's because government embraced social media. You know, they don't see it as a tool to fight them. Yeah, they look at it as a tool to improve the country. And now the problem here is that social media, because it's been used by people like you and others, the activists, to speak, it's so they are instead investing in how they can even get rid of it. You know that Facebook is banned since, I don't know, since 2021?
Yeah, the last election.
Facebook has been banned. But the question is why? You know? I even got to a point in my capacity as a leader on these digital platforms. I got to a point of writing to different offices, the Minister of ICT, the government spokesperson, the Prime Minister, the UCC. I even went to meetings with UCC to engage them, and everyone says this was order from above. This is not within our means, you know. So
if government is not playing that role, is there something we can do as people who use social media?
What we can do, we've been doing.
Okay.
What we can do, we've been doing.
Okay. 100%.
But I'm saying we've been hosting spaces to engage in these, conversations around politics. And trust me, to some extent, it's influenced, it's shaped some conversations. But also, let's look at the consumption of social media. For example, on X, we have less than 1 million active users in Uganda. Less than 1 million.
Out of
active.
19 million voters?
You know, out of 19 million voters, and out of...
those are figures from the last election. I think there were about 18 million or so.
And out of a 50, close to, I think it's about 50 million citizens in this country. So that's really a very, very insignificant. But the magic with social media is that there is a way it multiplies itself from the less than 1 million people and crosses to things like mainstream media.
100%.
So we initiate trends about topics, they spread to mainstream media and later spread into, public spaces, But we would want to get to a point where the citizens pick first-hand information from social media. So I think one of the things that I've been doing is even manually, like one-on-one, get to people and say, are you on X? You're missing this, and this. Can I open an account for you? And the intention behind...
So if everyone on X influenced other people to join X, there would be many more people on X.
Exactly. There would be many more people on X. And having many more people on X means that...
the power goes up.
Yeah.
It's influence.
It's influence. People are getting information. But also now, the reason I started with the government intention is that if you realize the reason Facebook was closed is that it had a lot of influence back then.
True.
Much more than X.
Yeah.
Much more than any other platform here. The reason I think TikTokers have started being targeted and arrested is because
they are getting the
TikTok is getting to
Facebook level.
Because every Ugandan now is on TikTok and can get that communication. Now, they have been a little more convenient that, okay, they have arrested us and all these things on X, but I think they undermine the reach, the reach of X as a platform, because they limit it to intellectuals and that kind of a space.
Okay.
Now, we need to see how we can get all these social media platforms reach every Ugandan, accessible. That's why earlier off air I was suggesting, can we do some Luganda, a language that so many
people speak?
Yeah, we do some Luganda content. All the content that we do that speaks to the governance of this country in English, considering the literacy levels in our country, how can we make sure that information is translated into a language that every Ugandan can understand, so that it can be part of the entire conversation?
So yeah, thank you very much, Gideon. It's been a very, very good pleasure having you. So now, after being president on X, are you going to run for MP or something?
No,
you're not running for president.
I haven't thought about that.
Let's say Gideon 2026. They pull Mozi out of the race. So
first of all, I don't have any chance of standing standing and winning, or even getting close to winning where I come from, Nyabshozi.
Why?
There is no opposition.
You could run under NRM.
I can't,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Thank you.
Yes.
So thank you very much, Gideon. And I hope the viewers will enjoy this edition of the podcast. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit the like button. And please give us comments on how this is going. If you want us to host any people in particular, let us know. And suggest for us ideas on how to improve this podcast and share it with your friends.
Can I have a last message to
my
colleagues, the young people?
Sure.
So to my colleagues, the young people, the young generation, the young Ugandans, no one should convince you or lie to you that you have no stake in the governance and in the business running of this country. You have stake because there is a regime, Seven's regime. They played their part, and they are in the evening. They are in the evening of their lives. It's now you, so you need to think about yourself, your children, and your grandchildren. You know, what kind of a country do you want to pass on to your children, to your grandchildren? What do you want to be known for? You know, to have been intimidated, gone silent, so each of us needs to contribute something to shaping this country to a country that we would want to see. Yeah. Do you really want to see a country that is corrupt, where we don't have roads, potholes everywhere, a broken health system? We've said all these challenges, but we now need to get into action and see how best we can participate into contributing to a better country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gideon. Thank you to the viewers, and see you on the next episode.